Well, when I started studying health 15 years ago, I started, looking at, okay, what is really causing me to gain weight? Number one, it was cortisol, my adrenals, and then what was I putting in my body? So I started doing some research, and then within 9 days, I was able to cut off 20 pounds.
It's the crazy.
I do a protocol. Well, I do a protocol where people can try to do it. So, but we do lemons, we do water. I teach you like meditation.
Did I put lemons in there?
Yeah.
Fresh lemons?
Now,
So you want me to give a 2-minute?
where did you Where did you get this from? I love this.
this
You got to speak up though, because it's noisy in here.
This one is one of the reporters who wrote this. She wrote it.
All right.
In the collision.
Nera Beckler.
Okay. Dr. Nirveta, so good to meet you. I understand you from
really speak up.
From Ohio, and even though you may be a Buckeye, you're still okay. You're from Michigan, okay? And, but this is my to travel. He traveled all around the world with me, and so now we're here at the 45th LC Congressional Black Caucus. We both have a booth here, and I come across this booth here, and I saw it. Says, Ask the Heart Surgeon, and you know we have that vanity domain name, Ask the Medical Doctor. We just can't be that domain name. But when I saw what he was saying about salt, which is something we know, because you know Dr. Shaskin on them, they always talk about how bad salt is. But here's a prominent medical doctor that's really into it, and I was just captivated by what he had to share. But he's going to be kind enough to give us a couple of minutes. That's why people need to be aware and to stay away from salt. And so it has a special toll in the black community, because so many of us are heavy intakers partaking of salt, and they're causing so many problems that we're not even aware of. Doctor, could you give us some insight on why you take time from your busy schedule to educate the community on the perils of too much salt, especially table salt?
Well, I'm a heart surgeon in Springfield, Ohio, and I see the devastation caused by salt for all Americans actually on a daily basis, including friends and colleagues, people I work with. But it's particularly hard on black Americans. To explain the problem, let me start with these two. And these are sodium and potassium content of fruits by USDA. And this is sodium and potassium content of nuts, of unsalted nuts by USDA. There's one thing common between those is that you see the sodium content is very low and potassium content is very high. This is what we are designed to eat. Okay? So we're supposed to eat a food which is high in potassium and low in sodium. But what most of us are doing is this. We're eating a lot of table salt and very little of potassium. And the kidney has to balance the two. And at some point the kidney gives up. Unfortunately for black Americans, the kidney gives up way too soon. The reason for that is this. There's an experiment done on these rats. When they're fed with salt, some of them nothing happens to them, and their offsprings also nothing happens to them. On the other hand, these rats, they die very soon of the complications of high salt eating, and so also the offsprings of this. Unfortunately for black America, most of them are in this area. They're very, very salt sensitive, as opposed to Caucasians. That's why table salt hurts them much worse than Caucasians. And you might want to ask why black Americans ended up being here. And that has to do with this story. Back in the day, the Middle Passage, these bad guys from Europe descended on the Gold Coast and took a young, black American boys and girls and packed them in boats like this and carried them across the Atlantic to the Americas. This journey, on average, lasted 3 months plus. During this time, many died from dehydration. When they died, they just threw him overboard. So the ones who made it in larger numbers to the Americas coast had a defense mechanism, and that is salt sensitivity. The more salt sensitive you are, more water you retain. Salt is like a sponge. Wherever salt goes, that's where water goes. And the salt sensitive slaves survived in larger numbers. Unfortunately, present day black Americans are largely descendants of this slave trade. And back then you had no choice. But now you're not on this board anymore. But the same bad guys who had no trouble packing people like this, now you know what they're doing? They're running the processing industry. They're throwing black Americans by the thousands under the bus, knowing fully well salt is very dangerous for black America. So I need black America to get upset and angry about this, educate themselves about how many different ways table salt hurts you, and do the simple thing is cut back on salt. And also push your legislators, whether local or national, to do meaningful legislation to reduce salt content that is served in the food in the neighborhoods. In the neighborhoods, the only food that you can buy, unfortunately, is very salty. Something has to change. So you need help on both fronts. You need to reduce how much salt you're eating yourself and get help from the government as well. So that's what I'm here for.
Well, thank you, sir, very much. That was a very impressive presentation.
Thank you.
We're most grateful.
Hold on a second.
Okay. All right.
You know, sometimes in life you see that Michigan and Ohio can team up. And we're just so excited that we have a Buckeye and a Wolverine. Now, I'm a Spartan, but anyway, I just really respect and love good information, especially things that can help our people. And you met Dr. Shasky, you know, a lot of naturopathic medical doctors and DOs, etc. They all agree that too much salt is not good for you. And when you can hear it right from a very prominent medical doctor that tells you about it, I think we have a duty to get this out to the community. I just want to thank you for being here. And so here we are at the 45th annual Congressional Caucus in Washington, D.C. And awesome information that's here. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you again. All right.
Appreciate you.